Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is Spawn of Azathoth. It was written by Doc Herber, and our game master is John Hook. This is episode 14. Our recap will be given by Stuart Lively as his character Cornelius Cuthbert. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Stuart?
Still reeling from the loss of our friend, Myron Dexter, we gather ourselves with our recovered acquaintance and friend, Philip Baxter, at Myron's old estate. From a night of rest, we travel by train to Helena, Montana, where the trail of this bizarre journey has led us next. The Tuesday Night Academy had built a new observatory nearby and had tracked a new celestial body from it. Would this be the unnatural comet in the stars of the Dreamlands, Nemesis? From Helena, we rent a car and drive to the little town of Garrison, where we by chance meet the observatory's electrician and lead technician, Edith Thomas. She seems friendly enough, but I believe she might not trust us just quite yet. At the observatory, we meet the other two currently stationed there, both from the Tuesday Night Academy, Dmitri and Vasily. Both happy to show off the observatory and what they found so far, as Dmitri calls the new heavenly body his nemesis. They put us up on the site. On the site house and some of the outbuildings. Before bunking down for the night, however, Dr. Zeno and I discover some odd material, some odd-looking papers in German, and a book in Latin. Dervmis Mysteries. What will the next day bring?
Thank you, Cornelius. All right. Yes, what indeed? The cabin is set up. And I believe a couple of you guys are also going to bunk in the stables. And Dmitri lets everyone know to do what you can to stay up as late as possible. And he encourages everyone to sleep in as long as possible, because it'll be a long evening tomorrow. But he looks forward to having you guys at the observatory as you guys take a look at the heavens and see what's get caught up on their latest studies.
I'm very fascinated by this book here. It's in Latin.
Latin.
Try perusing it.
It's what does it say?
Why don't you give me a Latin roll if you want to check that out?
All righty. Latin. Here we go. Okay, so I failed my first Latin roll, so it looks like it's taking me a bit. Ooey.
So totally failed, right? You don't want to spend any luck or anything?
Yeah, it's 22 luck I missed by.
Well, let me have a look at it. I've got some Latin.
Sure, certainly.
And here's these papers as well. They're in German.
So if a second player wants to try looking at this immediately in this manner. So with Cornelius, just as he said, even though his roll failed, this would be an extended read for him. He'll be able to earn this clue, but it's going to take him time. Dr. Zeno, if you want to try and shorten that time, this will be a pushed roll.
All right. That'll extend it if I fail to push.
No.
No, I'm saying it'll make it harder if I fail to push, right?
Right. Harder by you're going to damage the book.
Oh, well, I'm not going to risk damaging the book.
All right, so we're going to wait. You're going to let Cornelius just take his time.
Right.
Oh,
I'll look at these. I'll look at the German papers.
Okay.
That I have.
Yeah, they're in German. Can you speak German? Can you read
I
German?
cannot.
I
I
have a
had
bit of
German.
German, Saladin. If you'd like me to have a look.
Professor Baxter has some papers. My accent has suddenly turned to a German accent because I said the word German. There's some papers in here that are written in German. Have a look at these.
Certainly. These are handwritten, is that right?
They are handwritten.
On yellowed sheets, that might make it a little harder. Yeah, I'm going to need time too.
Okay.
I haven't.
I wonder which one of them writes in German.
Yeah, or if they inherited them from someone.
Maybe.
We don't have any. There are no native German speakers at the Tuesday Night Society, are there?
None that you're aware of.
I can't think of any.
Well, it's nighttime. I'm going to go to bed. Oh, you said to stay up as late as possible.
Yeah. So, fill your time as best you can.
Is there anything else in the room that's worth looking at for a while? Snow globe?
Unless you brought something with you. No, there doesn't seem to be anything.
Well, is there any reason I can't wander around?
None.
I'll wander around.
Okay. Just to remind everyone, let's take a look at the grounds that you're on.
Vasily, Dmitry, do you plan to be looking at through the telescope tonight?
No, not this evening. Tomorrow evening. Today is our final day of how you say weekend rest. So we're reacclimating ourselves for nighttime activities.
Where is the outhouse on this map?
Not listed, but there is an outhouse.
Okay, like under the big tree next to the house, maybe.
Sure.
All right.
Probably closer to the stable.
Whew. Thank you.
You're not
I'm
going to
gonna
want
be
that
drinking.
too close.
I'm drinking lots of coffee to stay up. I also need to know where that place is.
We'll say it's the tree that's near the stable.
Thank you.
So what's the landscape look like outside? Are we on a mountain?
You are in mountainous terrain, and so with that map that I just showed, there are elevation lines included on that map, although they don't actually annotate the grade, but it's it's fairly gentle. So the observatory is slightly uphill from where the house is, but yeah, it's a rolling, kind of a sloping land that you're on in the foothills.
I would like to just find an observation point where I can sit and enjoy nature for a bit this evening before I go back inside. What's the temperature like? Is it cold? Is it mild?
Yeah, it's getting cold. You can feel that it'll get close to freezing, but there'll probably be a mist and a frost in the morning that'll burn off fairly quickly. But yeah, it'll be pretty chilly this evening. As you go out and kind of start wandering around, why don't you give me a listen roll?
15. That is it's just regular pass.
Okay, and give me a natural world roll.
I do not pass that.
Okay, you hear a sound that carries faintly, so it's not very abrupt. I mean, you kind of like had to catch it and tune into it, but you hear a sound carrying on the wind, but it's not a sound that you recognize. If it had been a wolf, howling at the moon, you would have recognized that. If it had been, I mean, maybe this was a bird, but it's really hard to tell what made this sound. You're not quite sure if it was mammal or avian, but there was some strange call
I'm
on
going
the wind.
inside because I'm a New York City boy, and I do not like there could be weird things out here. So back inside. Dimitri,
right.
are there strange wild animals out here in the woods?
There are many, many animals. There are bear. There is a moose, elk, deer, many animals.
Do any of them sound like? Ah?
Have you had the benefit of hearing the elk in mating season when they are
Really?
rutting?
Oh, jeez.
It is
That's okay. I don't want to meet a rutting elk.
something quite interesting to listen to.
Night terrors. Yes. All right. Thank you. I'm not going back outside tonight.
Is that coffee almost ready?
Who's making the coffee? I'll go check.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Dr. Saladin.
Celie was making dinner, so probably, or actually, I mean, with potbelly stove that we're all sitting around.
Yeah.
So anybody can toss on the pot. I feel, Zeb, that I like sleeping in the cold. It gives me a hearty sleep. But if we're trying to stay up and sleep in, I think a cup of coffee wouldn't be a bad idea. As soon as I roll my sleeping bag into some hay, I think I'll collapse. Travel, after all.
Yes, well, lucky for me and maybe Cornelius as well, but we tend to struggle sleeping these days anyway. But I see what you mean. The hay is rather tempting, and I do fear if we don't have a coffee or whatever, we might just fall into a deep, dark sleep.
Dimitri,
Zebedee.
Vasily, do you know any ghost stories? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna let Zebedee know. Zebedee, you were reading Book of Ibon, is that correct?
Yes, I am reading. Yes.
Okay. Because I'm hearkening back to, I'm trying to kind of catch up. I have a note here to remind myself about the reading that you would have conducted on the train, the couple of days that it took to get here by train. In that time, while you have still more of the book to consume, if you so desire, you were kind of, based on initial skimming, you kind of zeroed in on a certain section to gain some info there, and you have now gained the spell, the ability to draft Dream Brew. And I would like you to lose 3 sanity and gain 3 Cthulhu Mythos.
Okay.
Yeah, package it up and call it Coke Dream.
This is rather fascinating, as I mumble to myself. Fascinating.
So didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to get that bit of business out of the way.
Yeah, he will be reading. He will keep reading it in all his spare time. It's keeping him like in the zone by reading it. He's forgetting about everything around him.
Miss Thomas, you have considerable local experience. What sort of wildlife is one apt to hear on a chill May eve in these hills?
Well, there is the mule Trotsky in the barn. Perhaps Dr. Saladin heard him. And judging by the odd noises, the odd impression that Dr. Saladin gave, perhaps a fox as well. They do tend to sound like a woman screaming sometimes when they're in distress.
Well, now we know what the fox says.
Unless I have any other, John, if I know of any other animals.
No, I think that's perfect.
I should like very much to see a fox. I've seen fox fur. It's beautiful.
And speaking of local lore, Miss Thomas, what was the name of the Indian fellow in the legend? Was it Joseph?
I do not remember what his name was. I only moved here a few months ago. I'm not overly familiar with the local lore, unfortunately.
Oh, did you didn't grow up nearby with your mother? That's a
No. So I grew up in Houston. My mother grew up here, and then when my parents divorced, she moved back to the ranch that she grew up in.
well. We'll have to ask her then about. I do whenever I have the opportunity, find myself in an unusual environment. I like to collect local lore.
Mm.
I was born and raised with a great deal of noise going on all the time outside New York City. In fact, the quiet is almost deafening out here.
Can we take a quick break?
Sure.
I apologize. I hope this doesn't interrupt the game, Tom, and I hope you'll be able to edit this portion out.
I will.
Okay, thank you. I need to step away just for a sec.
Break. Not a problem.
I've been
Deer.
from my pipe this whole time.
Deer make some of the strangest, creepiest noises I've ever heard in the woods.
We used to have a fox that lived outside of my parents' home, and it really did. They sound like a woman in distress when they can make that screaming noise.
And coyotes too. If you've got a bunch of coyotes, they sound like little children playing outside.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the hell are the little kids playing outside at 2 a.m, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They sound like they're giggling and laughing. But the weirdest one is the deer. When I hear deers, it's just like, that can't be anything related to an animal on Earth. That weird, oh. We had a donkey across the street from us, a mule across the street from us, that every time he brayed, he sounded like a man being struck by a car in the street. He would go, you'd be sitting there quietly, and he would go, like that. And until you heard that part, you thought some guy had just run over his foot with a tractor or something.
My cat used to chirp at birds.
He would chirp at them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
My cats do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that.
They get like a little clicking noise, like.
Yeah, I can trick my cats by turning on cat TV on a big screen and have birds flying around on the TV, and they're all like doing just that.
You know, there's a universal distress sound in the bird kingdom that sounds kind of like shh. And bird watchers will go out and make that noise because, oddly enough, birds will come to see what the danger is.
Before we get started, I had a question. What did you guys, so I spoke with Dr. Long on the phone. What was the reasoning they gave for wanting to visit the observatory? That they gave us anyway.
I told you that I am I'm an astronomer and physicist with Miskatonic University and a member of the Academy, and I want to see what you're working on.
Gotcha.
I'm curious about the observatory. That's what I said, and I just brought people with me.
Plus, it was funded by the Tuesday night group.
Sure, yeah.
And
right.
Yeah,
most
we're
of them
all
are
solid members. Yeah.
Three of us are members, and then we have the 2 nut jobs that accompany us.
I am not in that job. I'm just an ordinary man.
How much sanity do you have over there left, Josh?
I have 17 sanity left.
All he has to do is listen to what I tell him, and he'll be fine.
Now,
Exactly.
question for the keeper.
Yes.
As Zeb and I have gone, all the way back to the trenches, I know him pretty well. Am I noticing him slowly coming unhinged, or is this so slow that I'm not catching this?
Yeah. You are seeing noticeable changes, noticeable behavioral changes.
I'm not wearing a tie anymore.
Ever since the dream. I'm
Yeah.
not wearing a tie either. Oh, we are the nut jobs.
Okay. I have returned. I apologize for the short,
Okay.
unexpected break.
Well, if there's nothing particular to do, we might sit around and chat this evening and then eventually go to bed.
Dr. Saladin, tell me, what sort of doctor are you?
Well, it's more of an honorary title. I studied at the Miskatonic University. I was a professor there. And you could say it was more of in a philosophical sort of sense. University has a very large collection of occult literature. So I taught metaphysics and esoteric philosophies. But I also saw that there were means to justify them with science. So I also became very interested in astrology and astronomy and various Asian systems of studying it. That's where I came into contact with Dr. Long. Dr. Long, to his credit, is an extremely good scientist. But if it doesn't have numbers attached to it, then he's not interested.
And do you all share the same academic interest that brought Dr. Long here, or do each of you have a different?
Just to some extent, yes. I think so. Dimitri's nemesis has been noticed by us already, all the way back where we were on the East Coast, and we were just interested in finding out more.
Also, as a founding member of the Tuesday Night Academy, I have certain responsibilities in terms of where communal funds have gone and whatnot. Being so greatly distant, it's hard to imagine precisely how things are being put to use. And I must say the facility is very impressive.
And we're certainly not here to interfere in any means. If we're in the way, please just.
Oh no, we so rarely get visitors. It's nice to see some new faces.
It's very
just
peaceful,
me and Dimitri and Vasily here half the time, and it gets a little dull.
Edith, because you live here, and this is a pretty bare bones cabin, most of anything that would be considered modern conveniences and modern equipment is located in the observatory. You have become accustomed and trained yourself to just kind of keep an ear open for a certain tone, and you hear that squelch now coming from the observatory, which is telling you that someone is trying to contact the observatory via the shortwave radio.
And it's inside the observatory?
The radio's inside the observatory, but you guys keep that volume loud enough so that if someone starts kind of doing the squelch, kind of like a chirp, right. That chirp, you hear it usually more often than not. You will hear it in the cabin, and you hear it now.
As one who's been spending his time poring over those papers, that is very loud in here.
Yes, so that would have that would have been, for anyone who's in the observatory, that would have been quite startling to out of nowhere hear that radio kind of start squelching.
Oh, that I believe someone's trying to contact us on the radio. Gentlemen, if you'll excuse me for just a moment. and I'll go see what's going on.
So when you get to the radio, Hank Buffington from the general store, post office, pretty much the main post there in Garrison. He's on the line, and he says, "Edith, good. I'm glad I got a hold of you. Just wanted to ask you, have you seen or heard from Sylvia today? She's got some outstanding credit, and I wouldn't bring it up if it wasn't anything. It's just she had said she was going to come into town today. I haven't seen her, and I didn't know if you weren't too busy. I know you have guests, but it might be worth looking in on her."
Yeah, sure, Hank. I'll do that, and I'm sorry about that.
Not a problem. I just looking out for neighbors. That's all.
Thanks, Hank. How late at night is it?
I mean, it's still early comparatively, so it's only probably 7:30, 8 o'clock.
And is that typical of Sylvia to let a balance go unpaid?
Not usually.
Okay. That's odd. Maybe I should go check on her then.
Is everything all right?
Hank at the general store hasn't heard from my mother, and that's unusual for her. She doesn't live far. I might go drive and go see if she's all right.
Don't mind if I accompany you?
Yeah, no, of course.
Take a break from this these charts you've collected. This
And
object is,
if any of your fellow companions want to join us, they're welcome to. It should just be a short visit. I'll just go down to the house and tell them, gentlemen, I will be back within an hour or two. I'm going to go check on my mother in the neighboring ranch and make sure that she's doing okay. If any of you would like to join me, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I leave you in the company of Dimitri and Vasily. And of course, I'll let Dimitri and Vasily know.
Thank you so much, Edith. I'll stay and read, but if there's anything I can help with, just let me know.
Is Dr. Long going with you?
Yes.
All right, I'll stay then. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'll come along as well. I could use some diversion and don't have such engaging texts as.
Watch out for the foxes.
I would come along, but I'm a little preoccupied.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, shall we be off then?
All right, you guys jump into Edith's truck and head on down the way. It only takes about 15 minutes to get down there. Her ranch is downhill from you, and the road, the trail kind of comes to her ranch area and then heads south to Garrison. So as you follow the trail, you get to the ranch, or to what is Sylvia's ranch, and you turn off the trail and go onto her property and start heading towards her home. And it takes a little while to get there, but you get around a bend, and Dr. Long and Professor Baxter, you guys are able to, since it's just the three of you, you're all able to sit inside the cab, which is good because it's a little cool. It's getting cooler outside, but you guys are really enjoying the view. As it's starting to turn dark, the sun has already gotten behind the mountain range, but the sky still has just streaks of orange light still remaining, and you guys can see from this particular lighting effect just the very dramatic depth of the mountainside, the forested mountainside, and you can see even that fire tower. It kind of stands out starkly against the shadow of the mountains, high up on its stilted legs. But there's just that white speck of light elevated up there.
Does anyone? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Does anyone man the fire tower like full time?
Yeah. There's it's under the rangers
Okay.
purview. So, and there is a ranger by the name of strangely last name, but his last name is Marshall, but he's not a marshal. He's a ranger. But Bob Marshall is up there. So yeah, you guys get onto Sylvia's ranch, and the truck is pulling up to her cabin, and here come her dogs, Edith. And it didn't even occur to you to mention this, but two large Doberman pinchers come racing up to the truck, but they race up to the passenger side door, not the driver's door, and they're jumping and barking and just each one at a time. So there's constantly a barking and biting Doberman head right outside the passenger's window of the truck as you guys come to a stop.
Oh, I see the ranch has a proper greeting committee.
I'm so sorry. I forgot about these dogs. If you want to wait in here for just a second, I'll try to wrangle them and put them in the barn or something like that. I'm very sorry.
Bring any steak. I forgot.
So I'll try to, just wrangle them away, put them somewhere safe so that they don't jump all over the Dr. Long, Professor Baxter.
And they are, once you're outside of the truck, they catch your smell. They totally know you. I mean, it's a done deal. And so just by holding their collars, the gentleman can get out of the truck, and with just a couple of commands, you're able to kind of subdue the dogs enough to where they're not going to be just quite so hyper. So now they get the sense that they've got papers, right? They have permission to be in this territory right now.
Right.
Diplomatic immunity, if you will.
So, are the lights on in the ranch?
Yes, the cabin, her cabin, is lit right now. Go ahead and all three of you can give me a listen roll.
Well, stepping out of the cab, just before you forget it, Baxter, we may want to consider talking to the fire watch. I wonder if they saw any of the meteor shower and if anything hit out there.
Yes, they'd be in a perfect position to spot something like that and be concerned about starting fires. So definitely worth a visit.
An extreme success.
Fail.
I was not successful.
Where we all? Oh, the listen. Okay. I was like, what are you rolling? Yeah. All right. So with the extreme success, Professor Long, you hear someone who's clearly on the other side of the cabin, seems to be doing some kind of labor. It's indiscriminate on this side, but there's activity happening on the other side of the cabin.
I believe I hear somebody on the other side of the cabin.
Does she live alone, or does she have like ranch hands?
She's alone.
Okay. Oh, that has to be her then. There's no one else here. Let's go see what she's doing.
All right. So you and her cabin is equally as small as the one that you guys are in up at the observatory. So it takes nothing to walk around it. And so as you get to the other side of the cabin, there's a back door standing open, and her pickup truck is parked right by the back door. And sure enough, Sylvia is there manhandling crates of they look like apple boxes, but she's handling these apple boxes and that are filled with large heads of lettuce in this one, This one has got, is filled with apples. There's two of the apple ones, and there's more of these just full crates of fruits and vegetables that she's taking from the kitchen area of her cabin and hoisting them up into the bed of her truck. And so as you guys come around the corner and see her and the dogs, race up with you and everything, she's like, huh, Edith, what are you doing here? Who are your friends?
Mother, this is Dr. Long and Professor Baxter. They're here to tour the observatory. What are you doing? Hank said that you haven't settled your bill in a couple of days. That's unusual for you.
I'll get to Hank. Don't. He shouldn't have called you. It's not. It's none of your business. And I'm doing what I'm doing. I always have and always will.
What are you doing?
Nothing. It's nothing. I'm. What can I? What are you doing here? What can I help you with?
I was concerned when Hank gave me a call, so I decided to come and check and make sure you're all right. I worry about you. You're living out here by yourself.
I'm fine. I'm fine, Edith. I don't need you. You don't need me. You're a grown woman. Now, you and your friends, thank you for visiting. Now, please be off with you.
You could use a hand with some of those baskets or sacks.
I'm quite fine. Thank you very much. And you can see Edith, or not Edith, Sylvia. Sylvia seems like a quite the sturdy woman. She seems very well built. She's a little older, but you can see just the lines on her face are just very. She's got a strong face, very strong features. Long. Her hair's turning silvery white. But yeah, she seems quite fit. So she's like, now you just, all you just go on, I don't need anyone here. Get on by myself just fine.
Well, so sorry to be bothering you, but we were informed recently that there was a meteor shower not too long ago. Did you just so happen to see if any debris fell in the area?
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen anything. You can make a psychology or psychology.
Psychology.
I was going to say psychoanalysis. No.
That's a lot of luck to spend.
I'm having some angry dice as well.
I'll spend the six.
Should I roll as well, John?
Certainly. Yes,
okay,
absolutely. In fact, you can have a bonus die.
Okay. Don't necessarily
space rocks.
No.
All right, I'm spending the 16 luck.
All right. Well, now your character is as positive as the player that she is lying. She is withholding all truth.
I surely this is just a few nights ago, if I'm not mistaken. It would have been very visible. Are you sure you didn't see anything?
I don't even know what I would be looking for. Something falling from the sky. We see shooting stars all the time out here.
Yeah, a lot of those all together.
Maybe, but I think they fell, way on the other side of the ridge, really, really far away.
Mother, can we look around and see if there's anything that would be of interest to these gentlemen?
Look around. What do you mean, Edith?
Just look around the property for a few minutes. See if there's anything that would pique their interest from this meteor shower.
she seems to she kind of looks up at the sky and she's like, fine, you can have 5 minutes. Look around to your heart's content, and then be gone. Be
All
gone in
right,
5
all right,
minutes.
all right, mother. All right, all right. Well, gentlemen, I don't know what you're looking for, but take your time. She's crabby, but I can deal with her.
She, what normally, once we're out of earshot, does she raise on this property? She, cattle, goats?
Sheep, but that was a long time ago. Edith will tell you that it was a sheep ranch many, many, many years ago. But as times went tough, all the sheep were sold off. Then they went to gardening. But then as times got tough and the gardens couldn't be upkept, it has just basically become a fallow ranch. Nothing. It's not really even a working ranch at all. Sylvia has apparently, according to Edith, Sylvia has aspirations to turn it into a horse ranch. But she hasn't even gone so far as to erect a stable that would be large enough for horses, let alone have any horses here. So at the current moment, it's just a very large private property.
All right. It's just such an odd thing. I mean, why would she lie to us? If she saw something fall, I mean, they're just meteorites.
And where is she going in a hurry? I mean, with perishable goods. She's not going on an overnight to visit a cousin.
Or a farmer's market, after dark or something. But I want to survey just close to the house. I don't want to get too far out there, but I am just going to survey for some kind of impact.
Okay.
Craters and whatnot.
The
Sure.
direction that Sylvia indicated of the ridge, is that toward where we're staying in the observatory? Is it in the opposite direction, uphill or down?
Yeah, she was indicating basically downhill and southwest of your current position. Of course, the mountains have a general north-south, run to them, and you guys are in the foothills on the east side of this ridge, and so she's saying to the south and west, over the ridge. That's where she's saying it fell.
So if she pointed us that way, what do you think, Long? The opposite direction?
Well, I mean, my only thought is that it fell close.
Miss
I don't know
Thomas,
about
not
the
to be
opposite
personal, is your
direction.
mother prone to strange excitations?
She's just a stubborn old woman, to be honest. I've never known her to be strange. She certainly doesn't have her heads in the cloud or anything like that. Always very practical, stern. Just that's just the way she is.
Well, if it did fall anywhere close, I mean, we're in clear sight of that fire watch. I wonder if they know where it fell. Can we contact them over the radio, or is there a way to drive up there? Do you know, Edith?
I'm assuming they have a radio at the fire watch.
You're aware that they would have a
Mhm.
radio. You could probably, if you don't know it, I'm sure Hank Buffington would know what their frequency is. And you are aware that obviously the ranger has to drive up there. So you
Sure.
are aware that there is a trail, a 4x4 vehicle trail that leads up to the base. Though you yourself have never personally been there, you just know that it does exist.
Right.
Bob Marshall drives up there and goes up.
I don't know what the proper protocol is, because I mean, we have to stay up late anyway, right? I mean, we're out here.
Of course. We could always give Bob a call, see what he says, hail him on the radio, see if he answers. if you're feeling like this is something you want to do tonight, then I can certainly help you with that.
I'm loath to trespass any further on your mother's good graces. She seems agitated at the moment.
Let's I agree with you there, Baxter.
Is Long and Baxter going to do any searching of the grounds?
Yes.
Okay. If Long and Baxter are searching the grounds, Miss Thomas, do you have any ideas on what you want to be doing at this
I'm going
moment?
to try to talk to Sylvia, see if I can get any more information out of her.
Okay.
Maybe a fool's errand, but we'll see.
All right. So we'll have Baxter and Long do spot hiddens with penalty dice because of the darkness, the growing shadows, and depth of those shadows. Edith, you head around back to the backside again, and it looks like Sylvia is pushing what looks like her last crate into the bed of the truck, and she lifts the tailgate and gets it shut.
Okay. I'm gonna try to just approach like gently, like Mother, would you at least tell me what you're doing with all of this produce? Are you taking it to market or something?
She looks at the produce. She says, "Yes, I'm going to be taking it to market. I just needed to be dropping it off. I'm going to make a run tonight. Just listen, don't worry about it, dear. I'm fine. I'm glad that you came out. I appreciate you coming out, but I'm fine. Hank can just mind his own business. I'm good.
Why don't you let me settle your bill? Let me settle your bill with Hank.
Stop it, Edith. I don't need your money. You just mind your own business. Now, excuse me for a moment." And you can see her stomping off towards the outhouse.
I'm going to take a look at the produce crates. It does seem like it is just like crates and crates of produce. It
Crates and
like
crates, yeah, crates and crates of produce.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Other than she's loading crates of produce.
Well, yeah, sure.
Okay. Beyond that oddity in and of itself, yeah, the fruit seems fine.
And does she grow that? Like, is her ranch a farm? Is she growing this produce?
Nope, she had to have purchased this because she's the only one here on this ranch. It's no longer, as you know, no longer a working ranch. It's over the years slowly been just kind of, going fallow, and no more ranch hands or anybody.
Right,
Nobody
right.
works here anymore. It's just Sylvia and her dogs.
And when and where is this farmer's market? I'm assuming I would know that.
Right. So yeah, there are different, not really a farm. I mean, because Hank Buffington has the mercantile,
Okay.
which is where she had to have bought this. So, maybe she's going to take it to some out of town place, or maybe, there's enough fruit and vegetables here for several families. Is she distributing it to families?
So this is all just very strange. Is it seasonal fruit? Like, is this all in season?
It is all in season.
Okay.
So anything that I said, it's seasonal, despite what I said.
Very strange.
Yeah. Anything else while Sylvia is away?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. And it looks like the gentleman, looks like they came up empty-handed as well. Yeah, it's just really, really dark.
You know that joke about the anthropologist and the astrophysicist looking around a farm at night? Yeah. That go to classic, turns it holds true.
Holds true. Okay, well, fantastic then. So Edith, you're just kind of standing. The dogs are kind of sniffing at your hand when Sylvia is walking back up from the outhouse, and she goes, "All right, now time for you and your friends to get." and she goes over to her cabin and just opens up the back door, and she goes, Daisy, Duke, get in here. And the two dogs they just run in, and then she pulls the door shut. And
Nice meeting you, madam. Have a good night.
Yes, yep, you too, Edith. And she gets in her truck and fires it up, and she just starts driving away.
Very well. Gentlemen, if we want to contact Bob over at the fire tower, I suppose we should get back to the observatory unless there's something else you want to do here while we're here.
Well,
I think it's. I mean, we didn't even bring torches, so
yeah, it's
there's
difficult
not much we
to
can
look.
do here.
I mean, unless we enter her house and she brought fragments in with her, but that's a stretch and a violation of her privacy. So
I'm very curious as to where she's taking all that food, but I imagine it'd be rather hard to follow her unobtrusively in your truck on the mountain roads.
Yeah.
Do you think she could have found something and kept it?
She directed us like to go beyond the ridge, way away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just such a damn odd thing to lie about.
I agree. I don't suppose I have a key to her house, do I, John?
Well, nobody locks their doors out here. Despite the fact that it's 1927, it's BFE Montana.
That's fair.
Nobody's locking any doors.
I think I'm a little concerned that she didn't feed her dogs. I'm going to go inside and make sure that they're well fed. If there is anyone, if either of you like to join me, you're more than welcome to come inside. Are there any neighbors? Does she have any neighbors? No, it's just her on this road. No.
Yeah, it's just her on this road. The observatory and the fire tower are her nearest neighbors, and those are each 2-3 miles away.
Yeah, I thought so.
And then getting back into Garrison proper, I mean, that was a drive, right? I mean, that was almost an hour or so to get out here. So it was quite a distance with no one between. Maybe a couple of little farms, but those farms were on the outskirts, of Garrison. They were touching Garrison. So once you got out past Garrison, it was a stretch before anybody.
Could all this produce be the reason why she has the bill to settle with Hank?
I don't know if Hank has this much produce. She would have had to have cleaned him out. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But why would she buy it from Hank and then turn around and sell it? It is very strange.
And sell it where? Where's she gonna get before? I mean,
you'd have to leave town. Hank is the only store around.
Right, but where is she gonna get and then sell it for a profit?
This is concerning. I'm gonna just take a look around her house, make sure that everything looks like it's in order.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can go through either the front or the back door. They're both unlocked. And gentlemen, I assume, accompanying her. So you guys go into the house. So before we take that scene, I just want to come back to the folks who have stayed at the observatory. Do y'all have any actions or anything that you want to pursue?
Well, you've said there's not really anything else to do. I suppose we'll find a set of cards and play some cards.
Okay.
And drink some vodka with Dmitri.
Yeah. Dmitri and Vasily, they're eager to spend some time with the new faces. It looks like Zebedee and Cornelius are going to be doing some deep reading.
I might give my eyes a brief rest, just stroll around the house, but then go right back to reading again.
Okay.
All right, boys. The name of the game is Follow the Queen. Put your pennies on the table.
And the Russians just look at you like, what? I do not understand. So yeah, Dmitri says, so Dr. Saladin, yes,
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. What? So, what brings you to our great observatory?
Well, it's really Frederick who came. I came along with him. He's one of my close associates. He keeps me apprised of the position of the stars in the sky.
Mm, mm. Yes, yes. It is a fine occupation and passion. It's a calling in life, if you will.
Hmm.
It's
I
one
mean,
that it calls to my heart as well.
for tens of thousands of years, people have governed their entire lives based on the position of the stars and the
Mm.
planets. And certainly, we've learned something from it all.
Yes, yes. Well, we see the beginnings of the universe, and
And the
it
end.
is, yes, very. There are much in the heavens for philosophers to debate, but I am but a man of science and fact.
Well,
It's
what?
very interesting. We recently observed the the meteor shower, and yeah, it's
Ah,
very
yes.
interesting.
Do you think any of it landed anywhere nearby?
I feel confident that some did, but uh,
How does one distinguish between a rock and a
mm,
meteor?
yeah, yes, there are uh, some who have uh, done so and collected such rocks. I I have a bit of a passion for it myself. I've tried looking, but I haven't been able to find it. But who knows? It must be out there.
Well, I imagine it must have some sort of property that's different than rocks from Earth. Perhaps with a microscope one could find it.
Mm, yes, yes. Have you done much readings on the
Well,
meteors?
I mean, there are earthly religions that revolve around meteors. Um, the the Mohammedan people, the Islamic people, have a large meteorite in their holy place in Mecca, which they encircle. Uh, One imagines God throwing rocks down at the earth. Um, I personally am a believer that the universe is a steady state. I'm not sure I go for this newfangled idea that it's expanding or contracting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I think the evidence is there that the universe is expanding. It is ever growing, ever growing. Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
What have you ever? Are there meteorites in museums? Surely there must be something that's hit and people have dug it up.
Yes, yes. Well, um, uh, this is. Let me share something with you, if I will,
Mm.
if I may. And so he goes into the room that he's using as a bedroom, and he comes out with a manila folder, and as he lays it on the table and he opens up the folder, it's just filled with newspaper clippings, little articles that he's pulled out, and he's just kind of going through the whole handful of stacks here, and you can see that they all have a variety of um, they seem to have variety of state and age to them. Some look a little maybe newer, a little more crisp. Some seem much more frail, probably a little older. And so he's kind of sheafing through some of these clippings, and he finds two that he wants to show you, and he's just like, he's looking at the rest of the handful, and he's kind of, you know, flipping them back and forth like, and he's basically, you can tell that he's judged that they are not worthy, and that these two are worthy. So he just kind of lets the rest of them, it's not a giant, but it's a few, and he just lets those flop into the folder, and he slams the folder closed on those dismissively, and kind of sets the folder off to the side, and he takes these two articles, puts them on the table, and pushes them forward to you.
This is from the Helena something.
The Helena Star.
Helena Star. Strange sunset meteor. This morning, several residents reported seeing a strange shooting star last night. All placed the meteor above the mountains north of Garrison. Eyewitnesses uniformly described it as a glowing green object hurtling to Earth around 10 p.m. Searches were initiated early this morning, according to local townsfolk, but so far nothing has been found. Interesting. That would be near here.
Yes, that was just the other day. Yes, that was just the other day. But I've also found this more historical document quite interesting.
Near Arkham. Meteor discovered near Arkham. The discovery of a strange glowing meteorite was announced today by Professor Hargett of Miskatonic University. A team of scientists examined the object, which had fallen upon the property of Nahum Gardner. Samples were taken from the mysterious stone and returned to the university for testing. No conclusions have been drawn about the strange meteorite. Professor Hargate noted that the substance of which the meteorite is formed seemed to evaporate over time, leaving no trace. No doubt further discoveries about the mysterious object are forthcoming.
Yes, this one is over 40 years old.
What does he mean that it evaporated?
I can only assume he means quite literally. I'm having a hard time understanding.
I don't know. I'm not particularly good at physics. Are there chemicals that are solid until exposed to air and then they evaporate?
There are many instances of substances that can change their physical state. Water can freeze or become steam. Maybe there's something alien that can do something similar.
Well, aren't all meteorites alien?
Yes, I see. You're a very clever man, yes.
But I suppose there could be an element that we're not aware of that goes from solid to gaseous without liquefying in between. Very interesting. So they don't have any samples of it. It evaporated.
Yes, the Arkham article that was many years ago, but I hold on to this article because it illustrates the absolute alienness that can be discovered by such celestial objects as they fall from the heavens.
Indeed.
But yes, I've been unable to track down the meteorite that has fallen. But
well, are there any large craters that have occurred?
We haven't. Yes, there have been a few residents from Garrison, and even some from the Park Society that have come up, and we've been searching through the mountain woods, but no impact crater has been discovered. So,
well, perhaps it's not large enough to create one. I imagine so. If it's small enough, it's going to slow down in the atmosphere and just be like a rock falling out of the sky.
True. There's always the possibility that it continued to burn, and while we saw, it could have completely burned away before striking the earth.
Well, I
And
certainly
my
would
fear is
not
that we will
want.
never know.
I certainly wouldn't want to be outside and see something coming straight at me from outer space.
Indeed. Indeed.
There are more mysteries in the universe than are dreamt of in our philosophies.
And he pours a thick shot of vodka, 2 of them, and he
Nostrovia.
slams one in front of you. I shall drink to that.
L'chaim.
All right, so let's take the camera back to Sylvia's ranch. Edith, Philip, and Frederick are inside Sylvia's cabin, and it's lit well enough. It's a small cabin, lit well enough from lanterns, covered lanterns, so there's no just open candles about. And the dogs seem to have plenty of food. There's a couple of bowls, each heaped with canned dog food that had been opened up and plopped into those bowls, and a couple of full water bowls. So the dogs seem to be quite content. As the gentlemen enter the cabin, there is some low rumbling of growling, but they quickly return their attention in full force to their bowls.
Watching Sylvia's truck drive away, she went down the hill toward Garrison.
Give me a spot hidden, and because of headlights and taillights, you can have a bonus die.
Good, because the first roll was a 78, and the second one is a 28, and a success. A hard success.
Phil, as you're watching Sylvia's truck driving away, you can see that she kind of gets to the edge of her property where you guys had come in, and you can see that her truck paused, and then she turned her lights off. And that startled you at first, like, why did she turn her lights off? And then just with some of the very bare ambient lighting, as it is getting darker, almost noticeably, you're almost able to watch the orange fade. But there was a little bit of a gleam on metal as she turned her truck and is actually heading uphill, higher into the mountain, higher into the forest, with her lights off.
Both being stealthy and going away from any possible place to legitimately sell a truck full of produce. So
And
when
is
I
it-
go inside, yes.
Oh, I have to bring this up, but is it in the opposite direction of where she told us the meteorite fell?
It is.
Yeah, I don't think we should stay very long. If she, again, Ms. Thomas, I apologize for intruding in your
No.
family circumstance this way.
I'm very concerned, actually. Sylvia's always been a certain way, but this seems out of character for her.
And
so
Edith, you may make a spot in, and Frederick, if you so desire, since Philip was looking out the window and watching Sylvia drive away, you guys can make standard spot hidden inside the cabin.
I got a 35, which is a standard success.
no success.
As you guys are looking around, Frederick, you do see in the kitchen there was a coffee mug sitting on what looked like some folded paper, and you realize that folded paper is actually a map. And as you move the coffee mug, you can see that it's a map of the general area of the town of Garrison, the mountain range here. It's almost like it's a portion of a surveyor's map. And do you have any kind of cartography or anything like that? Give me a
natural world.
Give me a natural world. Okay. Natural world or navigation. I'll take either of those.
Yeah, I'm navigate, but I do have natural world. All right, 52. I'm spending 2 more points of luck. We'll get that down to a 50, so I'll pass.
All right.
Burning through my luck tonight.
So you are reading this map, this survey map, and you're like, we're here. And based on what Philip said, she seems to be driving here. And as your fingers kind of tracing, just kind of randomly kind of just continuing in the direction that she seemed to be driving, not too far off the mark. So you had to slide a little bit to the right. You see there's a small penciled circle on this map.
It's faded here. There's a bit of a coffee stain. I almost missed it. But look here. She circled something.
And it looks like it's in a ridge that's not too far north from here.
Why would she take a truck full of produce to a ridge? That doesn't make any sense. Does everything seem in order in her house? Like there's not. Okay.
Yeah, everything else seems pretty standard.
And Miss Thomas, there was only produce in the truck. She didn't pack a bag for an escape.
I didn't even think to look in the cab. All I saw was produce.
How much food did she give the dogs? Is this regular, or did she like gave them enough where she'll be gone for a while?
It's a heaping bowl full.
They're big dogs.
They are big dogs. And they seem to be scarfing through it pretty quick.
What do you two think?
Well, she seems to know where this is.
Right.
I don't know if she'll miss this map too much. She's using it as a coaster.
Right, exactly. Should we go there? I know that you both have an interest in all of this.
Well, if there is a stone there, then we should stop back at the observatory and get some equipment to retrieve it.
Yes.
Some shovels and stuff. But
I agree.
I don't see no reason not to go out there.
And so it's between, is it between Sylvia's and the observatory, or between the observatory and how far along the ridge is it from the track, which is not much of a track?
So as you look at this map, if you will, Sylvia's, if you think about the letter Y, Sylvia's ranch is at the junction of where the two forks go up to the left and right for the letter Y. So if Sylvia's ranch is at that junction, the observatory is towards the end of the right fork, and the fire tower is towards the end of the left fork. But the little circle that's on this map puts it almost in the middle between those two branches of the letter Y and up. So yeah, so it's kind of.
So she'll have to stop her truck and haul all that produce to the. I mean, maybe this represents a cave she found and it's totally unrelated, but why would she be dumping
why
produce
fresh
into a cave?
produce? That's not gonna keep.
Why the secrecy? Why the produce? This is very odd. I'm concerned. I agree. We shouldn't be stumbling around in the dark. We should go back to the observatory, fetch some lanterns and things. Maybe our companions if they want to join us. And
maybe we can actually put Xenos to some good use. Hopefully he's good with a shovel.
He's good with a cane too.
Well, very well. I think we should head in that direction then.
Dimitri will be happy. We won't be going to sleep early.
You guys get back into the truck and start heading to the observatory?
Yes, to get some supplies and let everyone else know what's going on.
Okay. Frederick, just you. If you would please give me a spot hidden.
Ooh, 57 is scraping by on a pass.
So you guys, it's a 15-minute drive from Sylvia's back to the observatory. So you guys get in the truck, you start driving away. You're 5 minutes out. You're 5 minutes out of the out of Sylvia's ranch. You're 10 minutes away from the observatory. Edith is driving. Frederick, you and Philip are just kind of looking around and still pondering, the events that are kind of unfolding. And as you look over your shoulder, kind of out the back of the window of the truck, Philip or Frederick, you see a man.
Oh,
But maybe it's I don't know, it almost seems like it's a figment of your imagination, because this figure, this man figure, looks exactly like the albino Native American that you were pursuing in the library of Ulthar. So as the truck is going by, you're in the truck, you're looking out the back window, you're receding away from him. He's standing near the trees, and you can see that he was looking at you and at the truck, and then he turned his attention northward and started walking on foot into the forest, deeper into the forest northward, which again, northward is also the direction that Sylvia went. You don't have visibility to him now. It was momentary, and the vehicle that you're in is still moving. So it was just like, oh my God, there he is.
Is this a sand check?
Yes, please give me a sand
really weird
roll.
encountering people you only see in a dream.
Yes, please give me a sand roll.
32 is a pass.
You lose 0.
I will keep my mouth shut.
All right.
For now.
Edith's truck returns to the observatory. You guys all hear the truck pulling up. And you guys have had some good games of cards and drinks with Dimitri and Vasily. And Dimitri and Vasily are like, oh, okay, yeah, I think it's time for us to... we've been up for a while. We're going to turn in. They seem to be, accustomed to this.
Don't you want to try and win some of your money back?
You are a very, very funny American. Very sure.
Tomorrow. We'll play tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
All right. I drank too much. Oh my God. Oh. I hear them outside. Here they come.
This
Hey,
book is very interesting.
Hope you boys ain't tired yet.
Oh.
Well, maybe a little drunk.
That's
Frederick.
okay. You can still use a shovel while you're drunk, right?
What do you mean a shovel?
I kind of gesture with the map that I got under the coffee table. We found where the meteorite fell. We're gonna go get it.
Oh, dude, tell.
Can't we do that tomorrow?
No,
Nobody's going to run off with
we
it
need
tonight.
to go. We need to go now.
My mother
And
went to go. She's acting in a very odd manner. This is not like her. She took a truck full of produce and left, lied to me about where she was going, and
Lied
headed
to
in that
us.
direction.
She said she didn't see it fall. She tried to point us in the wrong direction. Something's a little odd, and yeah, it's all sorts of strange. So if you want to, there's some tools out in the shed.
I don't think I'm understanding what you're saying. Something
Here,
about produce and...
Look, just I'll explain it to you. Just come help me get some supplies out of the shed here.
I have a book to read.
Zebedee, this is important. Your
Well,
book can
there's-
wait.
You
The
also
book
look,
is enlightening.
I think, Mr. Cordova, you should actually get some rest. You look a little
Well,
weary.
Yeah,
You look weary.
I think you need some fresh air, Zeb. Just take a moment.
No, I need to finish the book.
The
Well,
book will
it's
be there in the
a heavy
morning.
book to finish in one night. I've been reading on the train already. It's
And
not
you've
good
been
for your eyes, I
glowing rather
understand.
ominously there tonight. I think that you should stop doing that. It's very scary.
Yeah,
Why is it scary,
I don't know.
Zeno?
You're
I'm just
glowing red right now, and it's very frightening. Please
reading a
stop.
book.
Come with us. Get out into the fresh air.
We
We'll
can
all
help.
sleep better for it.
Your aura is off the charts.
I
Yeah,
would
we can-
appreciate any help that you could give me in helping my mother.
Oh, wait. We're digging produce?
No. Look, Zeno. We're bringing a meteorite back here, but we need the tools to retrieve it to put it in the back of the truck.
Okay.
And you found
Okay.
you found the meteor?
Yes, we
Or-
believe
We
we know
found a
where it
promising map.
Okay.
Okay.
That all makes
But we're not going to
sense.
look at the truck anywhere near it. I think we should bring
But the
a
matter-
wheelbarrow behind us, or at least buckets.
Yes, we definitely need something to haul it. But Edith's mother, Sylvia, seems to be.
She's
we don't
acting very
know.
Acting
strangely. She's acting very
strangely.
strangely.
She's misdirected us. She lied to us about knowing where it fell, and then when I pressed her, she then changed her story, but told us it was in the opposite direction of where this is and where she went.
Is she senile?
I've always known her to be strong-willed and of strong mind, but
Hmm.
I'm very concerned.
And the produce, you said she's taking the produce.
With her.
Maybe that's a ruse to
The
throw
purpose
you
of the
off.
produce is unclear. Yes,
Why
but I do
would
think
you-
we should deliberate en route.
I'll follow along.
All right, but
You might have to
leading-
explain things to me a few times.
All right, but leading drunk Zeno out to the shed to get some tools, and Cornelius, and if they're coming with me, then I want to whisper to him. Also, the man who we saw in the library in Ulthar, who had the Akadonin, is
Oh
here.
yes.
The,
Is
the,
he
bo-
Here.
the
He's in the
bone-handled
woods
knife.
near. Yes, he's here in the woods, near the
Hmm.
spot.
Oh, then we should definitely get going.
That means that he's probably from here.
we need to speak with him.
Well,
He
Also-
must know what's going on.
Also, one of the very nice Russian gentlemen showed me some newspaper clippings from a while back. It talked about a meteor that was discovered in Arkham that seemed to evaporate.
Yes,
Have you-
the enigma of the sublimating meteor. I've heard the stories. Some of those old gents are still professors. They're my colleagues. They certainly love to tell that story, but
Well, have they ever speculated as to what it might have been made out of? That it would.
I mean,
I-
things sublimate when they're exposed to heat. They transfer right from a solid to a gas, but surviving the intensity of the atmosphere, all of that would have sublimated away rather quickly.
Oh, okay. I'm just hearing this right now.
well,
I'm sorry I asked.
Physics,
hang on.
astrology,
Did- Does
Long, I will come with you, but not to help that woman, Edith, whatever her name is, not to help her and her mother, but to find that man and his bone-handled knife.
Well, I'm glad that you'll come for some reason, but
I
but
have to
these
do some
people-
digging. You have to do some digging.
We're
Does-
all going
Good
to
for
do some
you.
digging.
Well, I guess I can close the book for now.
You see, he obeys me.
Does
I expect there'll be a lot
Doctor
of digging, honestly.
does Dr. Saladin share with us the other article, the recent one about the glowing green?
Oh yeah,
Oh, you do?
yeah. There
Okay.
was supposedly one a few days ago. He said glowing green.
And it
Is that normal?
impacted-
Does that stand up to standard black body coloring?
No,
Yeah, green is
not in the slightest. That is.
that I know.
And
Well,
didn't it
yeah,
mention
but-
in that article, didn't you just say that the article, it crashed up north atop the mountain? That's just where you guys are saying
Yes,
that your
it's on,
your
right here on the
mom.
map. It's all pointing to right here. But
Then we must go see what's going on here.
But I mean, the mystery of the sublimating meteor that hit in the woods near Arkham. I mean, they were saying that was showing some weird colors too. But
Can I get some coffee before we go?
And can we continue? And Frederick, shut up.
Don't tell him to shut
I
up.
don't come
That's
to your
not
place
very
of work
rude.
and tell you to shut up.
Oh, Zeb, it's okay, Zeb. It's okay.
That book is teaching you bad manners as far as
This man is my best friend. Don't tell him to shut up. I'm going to get some coffee and then we can go.
Keeper.
Sorry, Dr. Long. I'm sorry.
Does a compass seem to be behaving normally?
Currently, sure. Yeah.
It's dark in the woods. We'll only be able to see lanterns right around us.
Mm-hmm.
Just spinning around a little bit and making sure that
It's
what
continuing.
I know is the cardinal directions make sense. Good.
Well, surely Miss Thomas can't see in the dark. I mean, I'm sorry. Is your mother? Is she a Thomas still?
Oh no, Miss Edwards. I'm assuming
She's
she brought
England.
some
Yeah.
England.
She went back to her maiden name of England.
Oh.
I'm assuming she brought lanterns with her.
Yeah, I mean, she must be able to see somewhere in the.
So you guys go to the shed to get some tools. The shed is quite large. It's like a very large garage because not only are there plenty of hand wielding tools in there, there's also a basically like a bulldozer tractor, right? It's got a bulldozer blade, shovel front blade on it, and a fully enclosed cabin for the tractor. So it looks like there's, like one piece of super heavy duty construction equipment, drivable construction equipment, tracked vehicle, and then a whole bunch of hand tools. So
we should each have a lantern. We should bring 2 or 3 shovels, 2 or 3 pails, maybe 2 compasses to be on the safe side, perhaps a pickaxe. And that shouldn't overload any of us personally. Based on this map, I think that we might as well set out on foot northwest rather than, I don't think there's any driving track that's going to get us closer to this circle. Is that how you read this, Long?
I believe if we go back to the ranch first and follow her tracks up, if you're already going to bring all this produce there, I don't believe that was a ruse. She was loading it long before we showed up. But I wouldn't want to walk all that up somewhere. She must know a way to drive there.
Doesn't it seem that she must be feeding something? The produce? Why take produce?
Are there any homes up top the mountain, or maybe like a small village?
Any Indian
No,
tribes?
this is the only homes around us in the observatory, the fire tower, and my mother's ranch. The only ones around.
So theoretically, nothing's up there. No dwellings, no people.
Not that
This is between where this is located is kind of in the middle of us, the ranch, and the fire tower. So unless they are hiding a whole town right under our nose.
Do foxes eat vegetables and fruits? I'm sure they eat some fruits and vegetables.
Well, time's a wasting. Let's gather our torches, and tools, and see what's afoot.
Before we go, I want to talk.
They're known to be grapes, after all.
The fire tower.
There.
Oh, you want to radio the fire tower?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm gonna go get coffee.
Okay. Yes, I'll walk you over to the radio. We can get that sorted. Do we have the number?
Why don't you give me an electrical repair roll?
Why? Is there something wrong with the radio?
Yes, regular success.
All right. You are able to use the radio well enough that you realize it can only be within a certain frequency, a certain band.
Mhm.
So you catch it, you get the right one.
Good.
You squelch it, and you can hear Bob Marshall,
Mhm.
respond, and he says, Fire Tower 14. How can I help you?
Hi, Bob. This is Edith over at the observatory. We have some guests here that are interested in talking with you and viewing the fire tower itself. Are you available anytime soon? I don't know, Dr. Long, are you wanting to?
Sorry, this is Dr. Long. I'm visiting from Miskatonic University. I'm an
Ranger
astronomer.
Marshall.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. I just heard there's some news papers about a meteor that supposedly fell near here just the other day. I'm just wondering if you spotted where it fell from that tower of yours.
Yeah, from the tower you can see it seemed to cut quite a swath through some trees, but we had some men on the ground, and well, we couldn't seem to find an impact. Funniest thing, it came in real low. It was quite the sight. I had a pretty good view of it, and it just tore through the tops of these trees. And by God, I would have assumed that it would have struck the ground, but I guess it didn't.
Oh, it didn't cause any fires or anything?
Thankfully, no. I was able to keep a close eye on it for any fires, and nothing ignited.
Nothing, but so no light or anything?
Seemed to burn itself out as it was passing through those trees.
Well, I'm definitely glad to hear that. I suppose I wouldn't be at the observatory right now if there was a great forest fire on our hands.
Yeah, true. It's so funny. The light was so it was so deceptive, because honestly, if there was no impact, it had to have been minuscule, or it just burned up. It definitely tore through the tops of the trees. You can even see the scar. Well, during the day, you can see the scar where it sheared some of those trees. And it just seemed like it was so big, but no impact. So it must have been a trick of the light.
That is quite fascinating. Well, if you wouldn't mind if we stopped over, I don't know, it's tomorrow early in the evening, before we begin our work here. I'd love to take a look at that scar, if you don't mind.
Love to have the company.
Well, hey, it was great meeting you, Marshall, or at least talking with you over the radio.
Same, Dr. Long. I look forward to seeing you.
Yes, take care of yourself.
Fire Tower 14 out.
Well, he's a lovely chap, but it seems that he saw where it came in. It scarred some trees pretty bad, but he doesn't see a crater, and they couldn't find a crater. They went looking for it, so.
And where
this is odd.
The trajectory of where he said it came in was from atop the mountain?
Yep, and it shore a path through the trees between him and us.
Well,
so if there was going to be an impact, this spot on the map.
I have a feeling Sylvia might know where this is.
Well, this is her map.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Randomly drawing circles.
Yeah, I think here looks good, somewhere in the western United States. All right.
So what's the general feeling about going on foot versus trying to find Miss England's truck?
How dangerous is it? Are there precipices?
I guess it depends if Edith wants to take her truck through the wilderness or follow another path that's already been.
I'm happy to take the truck, and there are predators out there, and it's quite dark.
Yeah, bears, mountain lions. This might not be the best idea at night.
But if you make noise, they won't come near you.
But also, your mom's doing this alone, so
It's very strange.
Well,
I don't know
I'm for
what's-
one to following in the path that Sylvia's made up there, if we can find it.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, the lot of us should also scare any predator away. So,
If that's your preference, I'll ride in the back. Let me put another muffler on. That's all.
excellent. This will be good air for you, Zeb. Good air. It'll be just like being pulled off the front.
Cornelius, I have to speak to you before we go.
What is it? What is it, Zeb?
I feel awful. I didn't mean to tell Long to shut up. Something is, I don't know. Something is changing. But I don't trust this situation. I also think Edith's mother is, gone maybe. I don't know. And everything's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. These things have been very, very weird lately, and
Are we sure?
well, I think
We continue. What is this woman up to? Whatever's going on is so far too weird, and my mind, I don't know.
well, after we check in on this, we should just kind of pull back and get some rest. I really think we've all been there before, Zeb. Nothing to be ashamed of. Just getting shaken, like a little shell shock.
This goddamn book, Cornelius, I feel it's whispering to me.
It does sound fascinating, but I think you need fresh air, Zeb. I think just give the book a little bit of a break.
I need to read. I need to read it.
It's not going anywhere. We can make sure we can get back to it. I think for you to get the most out of it, you probably need some fresh air and a little distance. It's just like studying back in college. Sometimes you just need to take a break and get some air. This will be good for you. I think Dr. Saladin would agree with me. You could even ask him.
I think he needs to stop making that face that's scaring the shit out of me.
What face? Zeno, what face?
Your eyes are all...
There's nothing wrong. I'm fine.
You need to take care of yourself. Are you on any kind of medication?
Well, if I was, it would be on your request.
Yeah, I haven't given you anything.
Well, then I'm not on anything, am I, Zeno?
Well, let's put the book down in the house. We can keep it nice and secure, and then we'll go off, get some good fresh air.
Yes,
and help Edith.
I'll go hide it in the hay. I'll bury it.
Know where the mule's going to eat it. So put it in the hay where the mule eats. Or perhaps you should, but I'm curious myself.
It's going to be damp and dirty out there. You should leave it in the house somewhere.
Yes, I'll deal with the book.
Okay.
Can we please stop dallying?
I apologize, Edith. I don't know what's keeping what's keeping my companions so long.
I will walk out after hiding the book and walk up to Frederick, and I apologize for telling you to shut up.
Apology
Earlier that one,
accepted.
I don't know what came over me. That's so weird. It's all a bit too much.
I believe you might owe Miss Thomas an apology as well, but can we, why don't you ride the back
I
of
am
the truck
sorry,
with me? We'll get fresh air.
Yes, it's wonderful fresh air. Yes.
May I sit in the front?
Why, Zeno? Come sit in the back
Because
with
I'm
me.
going to throw up if I sit in the back.
We can have conversations.
All right. So everyone gets into the truck. Dr. Saladin is in the cab. It sounds like. Anybody else riding in the cab with Saladin and Edith?
Since Zeno has decided that we are such best friends,
What,
you
you?
know.
Don't flatter yourself.
All right. It is a quick 10-minute drive back to the area where you're close enough to the ranch, but there are some incredibly infrequently used trails that go higher into the mountains that you can turn here and start a zigzag that goes higher and higher into the woods in this area. This is truly going to be off-roading it.
I'll try my best to follow the trail that we think Sylvia went down.
All right, give me a drive auto roll, please.
Oh no. No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the truck is pitching and you guys are slow going as it's going on. It's quite violently rocking as you're going up and forward and sideways, but the truck seems to still be holding its footing as you guys are making your way up and down. The sky is blotted out as you're fully under the canopy of trees. There's lots of thick evergreens that you guys are rolling through and past. So you eventually get to a point where Edith doesn't seem that she can take the truck any further without that successful roll. She's gotten to a point she's like, we got to hoof it from here.
Oh, Keeper?
Yes.
Chatted you?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry, I missed that.
No worries.
Before we get out of the car, I'm going to turn to Dr. Long and say, is your friend all right? He seems to have a very odd manner about him.
Which one?
Mr. Cordova, I think.
Yeah, he served with the Doughboys over in Europe.
I see.
Came back half-baked. Long, I think that we're about twice as far from the circle in the map as we were at the observatory, based on how far south we went and how slowly we went up this rutted path. Is there any sign of a reflection that could be Ms. England's vehicle through the forest?
Yeah, your visibility is nearly nothing now that that darkness has truly enveloped you, and with all the trees here, your visibility just has, even if it was daytime, your visibility would be very limited just due to the woodlands.
Yeah.
Well, if we knew the exact spot, it would have been faster at this point to have walked, but I think that we might have wasted quite a deal of time wandering about where these the ruts of the Sylvia's tires will take us right to where she went.
You
And
guys,
if I stoop with the lantern, John, is it clear that there's like freshly smashed foliage on these ruts?
you can make a tracking roll. And as a group, you guys are collectively looking at this map that Frederick found. So if someone felt confident with navigation, they could consult the map and do something like that.
I have a little cartography. I also rolled a miraculous 8 for my 10 track.
Yes, you do find that there are some fresh tire tracks leading that way uphill.
Zeb, what's that bulge in your jacket, Zeb? We didn't bring the book with us, now did we?
No, what are you on about? It is my gun, Cornelius.
In the front of your chest.
Yes, it's my gun.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna lean over to Zeno.
I feel so much safer. Crazy, googly-eyed, glowing red man has now got a gun.
Cornelius, you can do a psychology.
Oh God, 91.
It's hard to tell in the dark in the back of a truck.
My gun.
Maybe, probably.
All right, okay. All right, just
Doesn't seem likely, but okay, maybe.
You know, one of those box-shaped guns.
Yeah.
Yes, you are too. Keep yourself, Cornelius. Don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Does anybody see the tire tracks? I can't seem to make them out.
Why don't we stop the truck for a moment? Get out and see if we can.
The truck has been stopped for quite a bit, Zeno. Are you?
Oh,
you got to sober up.
So vodka. Still heavy things.
Everything's still spinning for him.
Cornelius, if you'll please accompany Zeb, I don't want him to stumble in the dark.
Yeah, okay, I'll stay with my buddy Zeb.
I've got a clear track here in this spot of mud, and it match, so this rut is related. It seems clear this is the way.
Yeah, you feel confident now that you've caught that track. You feel confident you can follow it.
So I've got a coil of rope over my shoulder and a lantern in that hand, and a pipe clenched between my teeth, and a pickaxe over the other shoulder, and I will take point.
All right. You guys begin your march into the woods in the dark. Everyone make a listen roll.
Oh, great.
005. Boom.
29 is a success, but not as impressive as Cornelius's success.
Everyone who makes a successful listen roll, you guys hear sounds in the dark that seem quite mysterious. Some kind of
It's a natural world.
Go ahead.
Situation. Well, nope, a 63 is not good enough.
It certainly doesn't seem natural. If it is, it's something that you're completely unfamiliar with.
Miss Thomas, what is that noise?
I didn't get a good listen. Maybe coyotes. They sound strange.
That's what it sounds like.
Sometimes coyotes sound like that a little bit.
Also, there are an abundance, I'm sure, of night birds in this sort of place, and with our lanterns and the truck before us, there's a lot of disturbance. I wouldn't.
Motherfucker.
How close are these sounds? Tom, make a sanity roll.
Went right through my head. I'm scared like a little girl.
Don't insult little girls.
I'm
I'm
scared,
scared like a
Cornelius
scared little
Cutler.
girl.
Hmm. Awesome. So it takes about another 20 minutes on foot, and you're making this steady uphill, and eventually you see that you're entering into what looks like a ravine, and it's a bit of a clearing, but just at the edge of the ravine, you guys find Sylvia's pickup truck. There it is.
And
Is it-
the lights are off in it.
Lights are off, engines off. It's parked.
Is there produce still in the back?
Sylvia's not here, and there's no produce in the back.
How much
It-
produce was in there, Miss
It
Thomas?
was full. It was
Full.
crates of
It
this
was
stuff.
full of
Like
produce.
6 crates.
At the back of the truck where you would offload, what type of prints are there going? I'm sure, is it just her prints, or does it look like someone helped her?
Tracking roll, please.
Yeah, surely the ground must be a little soft.
A 95.
Soft, but it's also been multiple stamped over, and then the vehicle tracks are in there. Hard to
By the
tell.
look of these footprints, Cornelius, you were here unloading the truck.
How could have I forgotten?
Is there anything in the cab?
Cab is empty.
Let's
Is
all
this
turn.
ravine on the map?
Say that again.
Is this ravine on the map?
Yes, it's circled on your map.
Okay, but
So this is it a divot in the ridge?
Yeah,
Or
it looks like
A larger.
here there's 2 abrupt, steep mountains, kind of jutting up from this area. So you're kind of in a ravine area.
Friends, let's all turn our lanterns off or very low for a moment and see if there's any light visible or that we're not generating.
that's a grand idea. I'll turn my flashlight off.
So as do I.
Yeah, same.
Okay, you guys all extinguish your lights, and now it's a fairly only partly cloudy sky, so you can still see lots of the night sky. Stars have come out, and they are doing some illumination. Everyone can do a combination listen and spot hidden.
So it needs to be below both.
You're making 2 separate checks for 2 separate things.
So 96. Oh my God, and 92. It's been just 90 minutes.
Fail on the listen. Hard pass on the spot hidden.
Okay.
I also got 2 90s,
Wow.
1 and 4.
If my rolls were flipped, it would have been different. But how it worked out, I failed both.
Edith,
No, I failed both.
Dr.
Oh.
Saladin.
Failed both.
No.
I got 80s
the-
and 90s.
The
So Zeb.
only success was the spot hidden for
Yes,
Zebedee.
from me.
The
Oh,
crazy
dear.
guy.
The sane the
The
sane
guy who's glowing.
I don't know where
So-
the glow is going.
You just hear the night noises, and as you guys are in the dark, you're straining your senses as your eyes and ears do their absolute best to kind of reach out and probe the darkness. And especially it seems pretty legit for all these city fellas. You guys aren't catching anything. Edith, you also don't catch anything. Zebedee, as you're straining and looking and listening, you look off to what is your left, but you're still kind of looking uphill a bit, and you see almost what looks like a man who almost looks like he's illuminated in white. But you see what you believe is the albino Native American from the library in Ulthar. And he seems to be moving through trees, and then you just lost sight of him. So he was probably about 35 yards away from you, and he was near a tree line, and then he clearly went deeper into the tree line, and maybe even is heading uphill a little bit and has disappeared.
The man in white, the albino, and I start to walk off in that direction, and all the rest will just hear me mumbling to myself.
Okay. Zebedee's mumbling as he's walking away.
So I'm looking over to see what Zeb's doing. He's just walking away. Zeb, yeah. Where are you going?
Yeah, he's there. I see him. I saw him.
Who? Who's
the
there?
albino man. The man. The bone-handled knife man. The man who could have taken my life.
Oh, Frederick, you mention that you thought you saw him here too?
Not thought. I saw somebody out here in the woods driving up to the observatory.
Well,
Well,
right, so
why-
I am just walking
Zebedee,
off.
I
towards-
turn on my flashlight. Where did Zebedee go? It's so dark.
he's here. He's walking this way.
yeah, I'm
He
with
sees
Zeb.
something.
Yeah, so it looks like Zebedee and Cornelius, you're following.
Yeah.
So Zebedee and Cornelius are now walking, instead of walking like the length of the ravine that you're in, which heads pretty much straight north from where you're at. They're walking at a slight angle that is taking them in a northwesterly direction. As they're heading for the edge of the ravine, it's wooded, and that's where part of the mountain slope is going up quite abruptly, which these two upward slopes are kind of creating this faux ravine up here in the mountains here with you. But yeah, they're kind of heading off towards that edge instead of the length of the ravine that you're in.
And based on this map, are they headed closer to the circle than this ravine?
If you were to walk the length of the ravine to the opposite end of where you're at now, that would be where the circle is. But they're not quite heading that way, but they're also not walking away from it. They're kind of tangenting a little bit off from it.
Well, I'm sore just from that truck ride. I'll take the low road. I'm fine with. We'll be able to see each other probably. We'll be able to see each other's lanterns frequently.
Yeah, that stands to reason.
Through the growth.
But we're in the woods. We shouldn't split up.
Just pretend it's a city, Saladin. You'll be fine. Just pretend you're going down a dark alley between two well-lit streets. It's the same thing.
But there could be a precipice.
Well, that's why we have lanterns. Don't step into a big dark hole that's right in front of you.
I'm not going that direction with Zebedee because he's acting very strangely.
Yes, come with us. We'll head for the circle. While we do, I want to look at the trees. I want to see if I can see any scarring.
Give me a natural world.
We're going to illuminate the bottom branches, sadly.
Okay, look. 09. That's an extreme success. I can pass natural world without luck sometimes.
Yeah. So as you turn around and kind of look at a slightly southerly direction, you do see where it looks like, tree line, but then suddenly in that certain area that you're looking back at, you can see almost like a U cutout shape in the tops of the trees, kind of coming in your general direction. It looks like something did smash through those trees
Look.
and create a scar right
This is where the object hit. Right through those trees, and it goes. Does it look? It's heading right to where the circle is.
Yeah, it looks like if you were to trace that imaginary line, it should go to the north end of this little ravine.
Well, whatever fell, it definitely fell in the circle. So.
Zebedee, Cornelius, you guys make it to that tree line. There's nobody here. What do you guys do? You're now right at where the rock, the rock and the ground takes a very abrupt vertical track. So it's scalable, but you would probably need to do a climb roll.
Zeb, how close was he? Was he just here? Just like 30, 40 feet away, or was he far away when you saw him?
Zebedee, you feel like you're now standing in the spot where you just saw him.
We are
And
where
about-
he was.
So about how far was that then? Like,
About 35 yards.
oh, 35 yards. Oh, so he could be way far away. Yeah, Zeb, there's no way to know which way he's gone. And maybe during the day we'd have a chance, but this is, we have no which way he went. We have no idea.
He's here, and he might be able to help me with the whispers.
He might be able to help, but wandering blindly through a woods, we aren't going to find it.
Why is he here, Cornelius? Why? He's a man from our dreams. Why is he here?
Yeah,
He shouldn't be here.
I recall him well.
He had a knife to my throat, Cornelius.
That bastard.
But it feels like I always have a knife at my throat at the minute.
And at that, you guys hear a voice yell out, "Edith! God damn it! What are you doing up here?" And it's Sylvia, and she seems to be approaching almost out of the darkness. She's coming back towards her truck from the northern end of this ravine. Swathed in shadow, she now is coming close enough, and you can see her now in starlight and moonlight that's filtering through. And there she is. "What are you doing up here? Who are these people? I told you to just leave it alone."
They're visitors from the observatory, and they were wanting to see where the meteor landed. We had spoken to Bob at the Fire Watch, and he directed us in this general direction. We've been trying to find it. Have you seen it?
No, and people have been looking for it, and it's not here. It can't be found. It didn't even fall. It burned up on entry.
Well, what are you doing out here then?
Don't you worry about my business. Now, get on out of here. Get.
You can't. This is public property, Mother. You can't stop me from being out here.
You can do a psychology roll.
Yes.
Again, with a bonus die because it's your mother.
Could be a penalty die too, depending on family relations.
Roll not tonight. No.
Yeah, she just seems cross.
Mrs. England, far be it from me, a stranger in these parts. Are you using the tunnel the object made as a sort of root cellar?
You are correct. It is far be it for you to even ask. Now get out of these woods.
We're here as part of a substantial scientific inquiry regarding astronomical affairs, and whatever object burned through the canopy, as you can see here and there, whatever that is a matter of public interest.
She's looking up with you. There's all kinds of animals around here. It's not safe to be out here. You should go on back to your observatory. Now everyone can hear a weird sound.
What was that?
It's the animals could be bear. For your own safety, we should probably leave.
You felt safe coming out here by yourself.
Get in my truck. Everybody get in the truck. I'll take you back downhill.
What are you feeding them?
Nate?
Whatever's making that noise?
Native Americans?
Have you seen anyone around here, Mother?
There's a tribe up here, isn't there?
There's no one up here. It's time to leave now.
Cornelius, what if it's a man? What if he makes weird noises?
He doesn't. We heard him speak. Let's go back to the others.
Cornelius and Zebedee, you guys are away from the group. You could hear Sylvia, not clearly talking, but you heard her when she initially shouted for Edith. And then after they talked for a little bit, then there was that weird sound, and it seemed really close to you guys. You guys turn, and you guys see a figure near you, but this figure, this is an approximation of the figure. The figure that's standing before you, the right side of his face and his right arm and part of his right side of his ribs are denuded of hair, and the flesh is looking blistered, and part of the skull, the flesh is so gone that you see bone ridges in the skull. I need both of you to make sand rolls, please.
Dear Lord.
I don't think this is the albino man.
006.
I failed by 2. Why do I have such low sanity?
Such low sanity. Yes. So let's have for the success. Where did it go here? For the success, lose 1. For the failure, and this is also due to the grotesque injuries or mutations that you see on him, lose a d6 plus 1.
Whew. Just free. Just free.
And as it stands before you, you hear it again go. And we'll end our scenario there tonight.
That's crazy. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Holly Buteau, Stuart Lively, Josh Harwood, David Gasway, and myself, with John Hook as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.